Did you know in the years prior to 2008, the mortgage industry was more aggressive in its lending? There was a time when a borrower could get 100% loan-to-value financing to purchase an owner-occupied or a rental property. A 40-year amortization, 95% LTV on refinancing, all these things were very common. But after the US subprime mortgage meltdown of 2007, regulators and federal governments became concerned about the stability of the Canadian real estate and mortgage markets and began taking steps to reduce the likelihood of a similar meltdown in Canada, and lending practices began to tighten. Let's talk about the history of mortgages from 2008 till today. But first, hit that like, share, subscribe, and that bell icon. It gets me motivated to keep you up to date with everything real estate. Hi and hello, and thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Preeti Rao and I am both a real estate and a mortgage broker for close to 20 years. So before we proceed, let me define these terms that I'm going to be using a lot in this video. Amortization. This refers to the amount of time it will take for you to repay your entire loan amount that you have borrowed. GDS, which is your gross debt service ratio. This is the percentage of gross income that can be used for your shelter. LTV, which is loan to value. This is the amount of the loan divided by the value of your property. TDS, which is your total debt service. This is a percentage of the gross income that can be used for shelter and your monthly debts that you owe. So, the following summarizes the changes made by the government since the financial crisis of 2007. July 2008, the maximum amortization was reduced to 35 years from 40 years. February 2010, two new restrictions were put in place. Maximum refinance was reduced to 90% loan to value from 95. Non-owner occupied insured mortgages, 20% down required. January 2011, two more restrictions were added. Maximum amortization reduced to 30 years from 35. Maximum refinance reduced to 85% loan to value from 90. June 2012, four new restrictions. The GDS and TDS restrictions. The government changed the maximum GDS to 39% and TDS to 44% for insured mortgages. Maximum amortization was reduced to 25 years from 30 years. The maximum refinance reduced to 80% loan to value as compared to 85. Maximum property value. High ratio insurance limited to property values less than $1 million. December 2015, high ratio down payments. The government increased the minimum down payment of high ratio insured mortgages on homes valued over $500,000 from 5% to 10%. October 17th, 2016, the stress test. That killed us all. Borrowers must qualify at the Bank of Canada's 5-year fixed posted mortgage rate. This rate is an average of the posted rates of the big 6 banks. As of Feb 2022, the rate was 5.25, or the rate the lender was offering plus 2%, whichever was higher. This means that even though the lender may offer the borrower a much lower rate, the borrower must qualify at the higher interest rate. January 1st of 2018, the B20 stress test for uninsured mortgages. Guideline B20 now requires a minimum qualifying rate for uninsured mortgages to be greater of the 5-year benchmark rate published by the Bank of Canada or the contractual mortgage rate plus 2%. July 1st, 2020, CMHC changes qualifying standards. Suddenly in 2020, CMHC said, okay, fine, your GDS and TDS ratios are now going to be 35% and 42. They brought it down. Establishing minimum credit score of 680 for at least one borrower, and non-traditional sources of down payment that increase indebtedness will no longer be treated as equity for insurance purposes. July 5th, 2021, 1 year later, CMHC goes back to its pre-July 2020 underwriting practices. CMHC will consider a GDS ratio of 39% and a TDS ratio of 44% for borrowers who have strong history of managing their payment obligations. At least one borrower must have a credit score that is greater than or equal to 600 at the time of the request for insurance. As always, CMHC will consider the overall strength of the mortgage loan insurance application, including alternative methods of establishing creditworthiness for borrowers without a credit history. March 30th, 2022, Ontario's non-resident speculation tax (NRST) rate was increased to 20% and expanded province-wide. January 1st, 2023, prohibiting the purchase of any residential property by a non-Canadian. Now, since 2023, we have not seen any major changes in the guidelines, except the increase of the interest rates. Now, let's just hope 2024 brings us respite, because all these clients coming up for renewal are in for a very rude awakening. So if you like this video and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me. If you still don't know who I am, just go check my rating on Google and read my client reviews. Till then, you take care. And if you found value and liked this video and would like to see more content, then please click on the boxes on the screen. Once again, my name is Preeti Rao. My contact information is in the description box below. Make sure to hit like, share, subscribe, and the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to call me because I hold the key that opens the door to your dream home.